Hello and welcome to Virtuous Woman. As usual, I cannot say it enough. I love this program. This program is always exciting. And we have a topic that is just going to give you some real awareness. But it's a topic that at the same time may even touch on a few things or pull on a few strings. But at the same time, you know, don't go away because you'll see what I'm talking about shortly.
Coming up on Virtuous Woman.
But we are learning and understanding a little bit more about the subject of skin bleaching, also known as skin lightening.
Use a moisturising product that illuminates the skin.
Okay.
Yeah?
That's good.
So it illuminates the skin.
Okay.
So it's not effectively bleaching or it's toning the skin. So yeah, I tend to have breakouts like most women do.
Absolutely.
Which is quite extraordinary because in later life you assume that doesn't happen.
Exactly, it's a
But
teenager.
actually that's a myth because it actually does.
Wow. Hello and welcome back to Virtuous Woman. And as I said earlier, I just love this program. You know, women, men, there's always something to learn. But this is directed at our beautiful, virtuous ladies, mainly, but at the same time, I know that this affects our men also. You know, today we are sharing about skin bleaching and just awareness and understanding, you know, why people do this, you know, things that may help this situation. But anyway, we have Angie with us who is going to take us through and help us, you know, just really get down to the crux of what this skin bleaching is all about. But before we move on to our topic, we are going to read, as usual, from Proverbs 31, which states all about the virtuous woman. And this program's inspired by Proverbs 31, as you may have gathered. So if we turn to our Bibles, we are going to be reading from the NIV version. And we are reading from Proverbs 31, and that's verse 10. And it reads, "A wife of noble character, who can find her? I mean, she's worth far more than rubies." You know, the truth of it, Angie, you know and I know that. Does a woman really know who she is?
I don't think she does. And she does need to know who she really is.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what God is trying to show us all the time. You know, as women of God, you know, you need to know how precious you truly are.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the beauty that you have. You know, not just the outer beauty like our Angie here, you know, but at the same time, just knowing that, you know, that beauty that you have within you,
Yeah.
you know, you're more precious. You're precious to your families, to your friends, but most of all, you're precious to God.
Amen to that. Yeah.
But anyway, as I said, today's topic is about skin bleaching. And, you know, and once again, you know, as our scripture says, you know, you're precious. And it's important, as we know, to take care of yourself, you know, inside and out. You know, and that's what this skin bleaching, you know, this particular series is about. Just more so, not telling you, no, you should not do this, but giving you an insight and awareness. And Angie, I thank God for you for coming here today, honestly, because, you know, you've been doing your research. You know, just to give a little bit of background on you, which justifies you even being here. You know, first and foremost, you're a Christian.
Thank you. I am, indeed. Yeah.
You know, you've been pretty much a Christian pretty much all your life. You know, you work for a national newspaper as well as you do health and fitness, and you actually work in the industry also.
Of course. Yeah.
So, you know, we know that Angie is, you know, she's like our little investigator. But we thank God for her, honestly. But at the same time, let's share with our viewers, you know, what is skin bleaching for those that may not know?
Well, skin bleaching.
To you, first
to
of all,
me,
what is it
well,
as an
someone
individual?
says to me, or, you know, I want to bleach my skin. I see that as lightening the skin.
Okay.
It's that simple as it is, really.
Okay. And what does our Wikipedia kind of, you know, dictionary interpretations, what does it say?
I've done some research there.
Okay, cool.
And Wikipedia describes skin lightening as skin whitening. Skin whitening, skin lightening, and skin bleaching refer to the practice of using chemical substances in an attempt to lighten the skin tone.
Wow.
Very powerful stuff there. Yeah?
Well, it does sound a bit. And tell us, tell our viewers, although some may, know this already, some may not, but tell us some different ways that you can actually achieve this. Just where people, everyday people, me and you, go on the high street, how can you achieve what do people use as a method to lighten the skin?
You can go into stores, chemists, whatever.
Sure.
And buy products such as creams, soaps, lotions. You can either take it as far and have laser treatment. There's even steroids in the market which have some devastating effects.
Wow.
So there's different ways you can apply these products.
Sure.
And I don't think people actually know exactly the full what's going on there, what's in the bottles.
Okay, well, that's what we're here today. To do some enlightening, because I know that, through research, we kind of, or should I say, in our different cultures, we kind of almost feel like it might just be a black thing. Or if you're in, maybe you might be Asian of some kind, you might think, oh, it's an Asian thing. But this is pretty much on the whole skirt of anybody of colour, really, isn't it?
Basically, that. I would say it's not just only directed to the Afro-Caribbean black community, but it's really big in the Asian market, in China, Japan, Thailand. I've been to Thailand quite a few times, and I've actually seen women rush into the stores to buy a branded product, particularly for lightening and whitening the skin.
Wow.
Which opened my eyes that it is out there, not just, it crosses a different spectrum of communities. People.
And the thing about it is, you would even think, like in the Asian community, that they're not even that dark anyway.
I know.
So, but it's very clear to me that there are many different reasons why people might want to do this. So maybe if we kind of break it down, because everybody's got their reason why they do things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily always what we think, you know what I mean?
True.
So, I know once again you've been doing a bit of
research.
Been
out there.
What are some particular things why people genuinely want to lighten their skin or bleach their skin, or whatever the term you'd prefer to use?
Well, I guess from the research that I've found, there are different reasons. Okay, so you have people that want to lighten their skin if they have a breakout or hormonal imbalance and they just want to get some even skin tone, and that's fine. So they'll go out and buy products that work particularly for that specific issue. But then you get the opposite scale of the spectrum, where girls, women, want to lighten their skin and go a few shades lighter. So somewhere in their psyche, they've been told that their current skin colour is not good enough. Or they feel that they would prefer to be lighter.
Now, do you think that maybe society kind of embeds that to make it be a little bit more acceptable if you're a lighter shade? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I found some research here where, in Asia, women start bleaching their skin from a really, really young age.
Unbelievable.
So somewhere in their society, they've been told you will far more achieve things in life if you're of a lighter shade.
Unbelievable.
And they actually believe it. It's conditioned, it's in their environment. And I don't think they question it because it is what it is. Basically.
And do you think that kind of moves on the whole spectrum of Afro-Caribbean, African, and do you think it kind of...
Yeah, I think it crosses over, basically. Again, there's different things lying underneath. It's why do people go out and lighten their skin? I know if I have a breakout, or I would use a product, but it would be organic. Vitamin C is brilliant for brightening the skin, so that would be someone who just wants to lighten their, if they've got pimples and stuff like that.
So just to break it down to our viewers, is what you're trying to say is that, first of all, if we just kind of, break it down a little bit, but you have, as a woman myself, you have different seasons, if you like, where your skin is changing all the time.
Absolutely.
Whether it's you're coming up to your menstruation, whether it's your you know, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Even after pregnancy,
Even
where your
menopausal?
hormones are changing. Yeah.
Hormone imbalance.
There's lots of different reasons. Stress.
Yes.
Is a big one.
Yeah, massive factor.
And your skin can sometimes change. Now, the reason why I'm going to break this down, because I'm going to ask you as well what you've gone through, and even if I speak my own little scenario, which I went through. But after pregnancy, after my last child, which is only nearly 2 years now, I actually went through a phase where I was covered in black spots through itching.
Right.
And it was very apparent. It wasn't anything I could hide. You know, people would literally on the street like, oh, you know, what's happened to her skin? And even when I came to church, people were like, oh, Maxine, what's happening with your skin?
Yeah.
So it wasn't something that I could even hide. It was just clear, whoa, something's wrong with you, you know?
Really?
Yeah, and I literally went to an Asian shop in Tottenham, where I like to go sometimes. Not for that, but I did go to an Asian shop and ask the guy if there was something that could help me even out my skin, you know, because I was covered in black spots. Okay. So, and as I said, Angie, we're coming to you because I want you to have the break, some natural stuff. Yeah. So I was given these 3 products, okay? I mean, they're quite interesting. I won't go into them as such to break it down what they were, but basically it does state on them quite clearly, and although this one's not even in English, so I don't even know what it says.
Oh, wow, really?
But the bit I can read, it says complexion milk. And it's a tone. It's not a thing. And then you've got the other ones for sensitive skin. And this one, which is basically, you were saying, that, you know, there's no chemicals in there. All it will do is just brighten it and get rid of the stuff. Yeah. Now, I can honestly say I used it for about a week, if that. I think it might even have been 5 days. And my skin literally went white.
Within 5 days?
Yeah, like an ash colour. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like an ash and grey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, when I saw that, I knew that this has got something in it because my skin has changed. Right. Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily these black spots had gone. They were just, the whole thing was just fading. My skin as well as the black. And this is when I realised, stop. But anyway, I thank God because I stopped using it. And as you can see, I have nothing.
Radiant skin.
Which tells me that sometimes women, this is just a pre-warning thing, sometimes women, we have scenarios, it's not about just jumping straight on it and thinking, right, I've got to deal with it, I've got to do this, get this, and sort it out. Right. And although we're talking about women, this does pertain to men as well, because there's a lot of men out there that use these products as well. Okay. Yeah, it's not just a woman thing, far from it actually. So it's just saying that sometimes when you are seeing a change, I don't think it's the time to rush out and try and find a product that's actually going to change the colour of your skin or even out your skin for any reason until you actually find out the background of why. And mine was stress. Yeah. Mine was pressure. Yeah. I don't even like to use that word stress, so I rebuke that. It was pressure on me. Yeah. Hence the reason why I had my breakout. Yeah. So, in saying that, I know that we're going to take a short break, but this is not the time to go away because Angie is going to share with us some, you know, her situation in regards to her skin breakouts, as well as, and show us also some natural things that she uses, which I'm interested to hear as well because I don't know this. So we'll see you very shortly. God bless.
Coming up on Virtuous Woman.
But it's a massive business. And here it says the World Health Organization has reported that Nigerians are the highest users of such products. Wow. Apparently, 77%.
He was also explaining to me that once you stop using it, you actually go darker than you originally started.
Yeah, I've read that. I've done some research and I've read...
What is that?
Join Maxine on Virtuous Woman every Monday at 12:30 p.m, Tuesday 7:30 p.m, and Saturday 8:30 p.m. here on Love World TV.
Hello and welcome back to Virtuous Woman. And as usual, you know that we've got something to teach you today. But we are learning and understanding a little bit more about the subject of skin bleaching, also known as skin lightening. And we are discussing this today with Angie, who has been doing a lot of research on this, as well as she's also understanding the products and also looking at natural ways of actually doing this. And so I'm going to swing right over to Angie.
Hi.
So as I was saying before the break, Angie, tell us about some scenarios that you may have had, you know, with your skin situation.
Yeah, I tend to have breakouts, like most women do.
Absolutely.
Which is quite extraordinary because in later life you assume that doesn't happen.
Exactly, it's a teenage
Well, actually,
thing.
that's a myth because it actually does.
Wow.
You know, so,
Sure.
and then when I have a breakout, it's hormonal, really. And I try not to get too stressed, but if I do, the biggest factor for me, it shows in my skin, basically.
Yeah,
So,
I'm one of those as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of women are, basically. So I would use a moisturising product that illuminates the skin.
Okay.
Yeah?
Listen, good.
So it illuminates the skin.
Okay.
So it's not effectively bleaching or it's toning the skin. So anything like post-acne scars, hormonal breakouts, brown marks, age spots, things like, you know, natural products help reduce the darkness. Or it fades the skin, but we're not using stuff that you can't read. For example,
Sure.
I mean, I've done some research and vitamin C brightens the skin. So there are certain products that have quite a concentrated amount of vitamin C that helps lighten the skin. Licorice helps tone the skin. And you can create your own, make your own, or you can buy these certain products that have them.
Okay, and if you explain to our viewers about this toning, because it's basically...
Yeah, so, you know, you might have like brown patches or sort of, you know, dark spots concentrated in an area. So you would use a little dab of cream just where the marks are, twice a day. When you see that it fades, that's it. That's when you decide, you just stop using the product. It's not an ongoing thing. It's
exactly.
It's temporary.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And also, when you say toning, you're basically telling people that you're just kind of bringing all the skin to one tone, isn't it?
Yeah, you're evening out your skin tone.
Okay.
I like to use the word, it's a luminous, right? You're radiating what's already there.
Amen.
You're not changing anything. All you're doing is having some assistance along the way to radiate what's there. You're not taking away what's there. Because people that bleach their skin on a different level go 3 or 4, maybe 5 shades lighter. So in fact, that becomes like almost like a disorder, if you like. You know, when people constantly have surgery because they're changing the way they look. That could be kind of grouped with that, I think. If you're literally changing your skin tone, so therefore you change everything to facilitate that new skin tone of yours. Yeah. So they see the other side of the spectrum.
Wow.
So for me, it's about when I have, as I say, breakouts and I use specific products, you know, that are organic, that have natural ingredients.
Amen.
I find works for me. And then, you know, after, because it's a moisturiser, essentially, it's a moisturiser.
You have to keep the skin moist. That's what's going to get rid of it.
Keeps it hydrated. Yeah. It's okay, you're kind of reducing the marks and stuff, but you're not changing the overall skin tone.
Okay. Now, what I like about that, where you're talking about purely natural products, which, you know, towards the end of the program, we will talk about and gear people to, if they need information, that they can come to you on that. But I really want to push and emphasize about the fact that once you start using chemical products on your skin, whether you're aware or you might not be aware, that you can never bleach knuckles and things like that. You can't. So, you know, sometimes it's quite obvious, even on a black person or an Asian person, that their knuckles are normally quite dark compared to the rest of their skin. Yeah. Or the other thing that sometimes they're left with is those black spots, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's funny, when I went into the hair shop where it was Asian owned.
Right, yeah.
I asked him about the these products. I just had to ask him, how well are these things? And this guy was saying this is a multi-million-pound business.
Absolutely.
Like, this is a money-making business, big time. And he also explained to me that it's a bad thing. Because he doesn't like selling it. And I was saying, well, why'd you sell it then? But he was explaining to me that it's okay if you do it in moderation. But people tend to think if you put on lots more, then you're going to get lighter quicker or you're going to get whiter, whatever you're trying to achieve, who knows?
Yeah.
But he was also explaining to me that once you stop using it, you actually go darker than you originally started.
Yeah, I've read that. I've done some research and I've read...
What is that?
So it kind of defeats the object, right?
Exactly.
So I don't think, well, I read somewhere where this African pop star has endorsed the product, right? Or she basically, has, she's promoting a product.
Sure.
It's called Whitenicious.
Wow, and this is that African...
Yeah, without name dropping, right?
Of course not.
Whitenicious. Now, that was initially marketed to lighten elbows. You mentioned about elbows and knuckles, so following on from that point.
Yeah.
So that was basically marketed as a knee and elbow skin lightening cream. Okay, and moisturising cream. But it's quite interesting. It's targeted as a skin lightening before moisturising.
Look at that.
Yeah, and... this particular product costs $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now the woman who's endorsed this or using it, she's like 3 or 4 skin
shades lighter.
Yeah. So she's the face of the product, right? So, and it sells millions, preferably in African countries.
Wow.
The name itself, Whitenicious, says it all really, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And the thing about it as well, which people need to understand as well, you have a celebrity and you have an everyday person. Now with a lot of the celebrities, as we know, they do lighten their skin. Many, even if you look at some of their old pictures to where they are now, you can see that apparently guess what, you didn't start off that colour. But in saying that, they do it from a different perspective, because they normally go inside out, where they take the pills, and there's things that you can take to do it inside out, where a lot of us everyday people, we will do it just straight on the skin, which I don't know what's more harmful or what isn't harmful, or whether the way they do it is actually harmful. But
I think both. If it's done, no one's saying don't, lighten your skin.
Absolutely.
That's not the message here. I think it's trying to understand what the purpose is.
Yeah.
What's the underlying, what lies underneath.
Yeah.
Why, and quite interesting, you mentioned on one of those products there that it's not in English, right?
I don't even know what
so when you
language
buy
that
something
is.
like that, all you see
it's French.
It's French.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Because, what if you don't speak French, but you want to lighten your skin, i.e. if you're Asian?
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of these products are bought in Asian shops, right?
Yeah.
So that shows you that it's a massive business. And here it says the World Health Organization has reported that Nigerians are the highest users of such products.
Wow.
Apparently, 77% of Nigerian women use this product on a regular basis, followed by Togo, which is 59%, and South Africa, 35%. And Mali, 25%.
Okay, and what about the Caribbeans? Because I know that I've got family members and stuff that they use it. So.
Yeah, that it doesn't touch on here. It doesn't mention here basically, which I'm quite surprised at.
Me too.
And it mentions that in the Asian community, a whopping 50%. That's high.
That's very high.
Yeah, and I've been to Thailand. I've seen it myself, and I actually said to this girl when we were in this chemist, "Why are you lightening your skin? You're so beautiful." And she said, because acceptance. I'm judged by the colour of my skin, and I feel prettier when I'm lighter. Wow.
It is. You're just sitting there like, wow.
Yeah. So it's there's a perception out there.
There is, but the truth of the matter is, it works. There's no doubt about that. But, at the end of the day, you're going to get more mature. Your skin's going to change.
Yeah.
it's very difficult to stay in the sun very long when you've started doing this as well, because you thin the skin also.
Right.
Guys, be careful.
That's all you want to say, really, isn't it? Because we have choices, and people are going to continue doing what they're doing. All you want to get across is basically just do it safely. Know what you're putting on your skin.
Absolutely.
Do some research, basically. Find out why you use this product against another product, you know?
Sure.
Why does this one cost more than the next? Read up on it, you know, and just be mindful. But then again, if people who have low self-esteem or whatever, that's a whole other ball game. That's opening the lid of Pandora's box.
Absolutely.
That's another thing entirely, really, isn't it? So it's a question of just do your research, like anything. Would you buy cosmetics online without knowing what the ingredients are? Is it more tangible to go into a shop and go, oh, I feel that?
Wow.
So you know, so it's a question of just doing some research.
Sure.
And I've done some research, and when I actually use certain products, I make sure I read up on it, because I essentially am putting that on my skin.
And that's the thing, your skin, you know, when you're doing that, it's a permanent thing you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can revert. As I said, you know, if you stop using it altogether, then you will, a lot of the time, find that you actually go darker than you originally started, which, you know, and you can leave yourself in such a mess.
Yeah.
So, you know, just be aware. And as I said, if you're, you know, want some more information, even from Angie, just in regards to all of this, because there is some natural ways of doing this. And there are even a lot of exfoliating and things like that. You can actually even lighten your skin that way as well, which people do not realise. The more you actually take off the layers of your skin, whether you're, you know, on your face, whether you're doing dermabrasion or even just exfoliating at home, you are actually removing layers, and you can actually lighten your skin that way as well.
But what I think that does, and what a holistic way of looking at it is, it's illuminating.
It's
brightening the skin.
That's right.
If your skin's brighter, and also, you know, people can feel so desperately insecure when they have like certain skin issues and stuff like that. You know, you're touching into their security, basically.
That's right.
So the creams and the potions and the lotions that are out there that don't harm, that don't stop the melanin, because we're always producing melanin, it just radiates what's already there.
Exactly. So guys, as far as I'm concerned, the best one to do is you get your loofah or get your scratch mittens or whatever, and you scrub. Yeah. Because not only are you making your skin beautiful and brightening it up, but you are also taking off a shade of your colour.
There should be a brand called Scrubalicious. Shouldn't there,
anyway,
really?
Angie, we're out of time.
Okay.
So thank you so much for today.
You're welcome.
You know, you've been absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
And as I said, viewers, if there's any information that you want to understand a little bit more about how to whiten, brighten your skin, and some safe ways, as well as ways that are moderately safe, then please do send us a text, give us a call, send us an email. We would love to hear from you, you know, and even if you've had experiences, you know, it'd be great to hear how you've, you know, gotten out of these experiences, especially if they're negative, because then you might be able to help somebody else also. Remember, if you are a woman and you are watching this program, what are you? You are a virtuous woman. God bless you.